Yo guys, Andrew here with Verb, and for the last few weeks I've been using the Oura ring as a replacement for my wedding band. In this video, I'm going to break down my experience using this over the last month and share everything that you need to know about how this works. Now, Oura Ring and Best Buy did provide me with this ring to review, and I want to thank them for supporting Verb by sponsoring this video, and I would encourage you to check out the link below to shop Best Buy, not just for the Oura ring, but for all types of tech and gear from laptops and TVs, and of course, Pokemon cards. Now, obviously, unlike a lot of wrist-worn wearables, everything has been packed into one elegant ring. Health, sleep tracking, that's all right here. And for me, this is pretty perfect because I don't really wear jewelry, right? Other than just my wedding band, I don't wear bracelets, necklaces, watches for the most part. Recently I had a watch, but it broke and I just didn't really care to fix it because I didn't really feel like I was missing out on anything. That's just me personally, and I'll get into who I think this ring is for later in this video. Now, off the bat, if this is something that you are interested in, getting sized is going to be different than getting sized for any other ring. They have a specific sizing kit that you can order to make sure that you've got a proper fit, or you can just do what I did and go directly to a Best Buy where they have a sizing kit available for you in store. Now, Oura recommends that the ring is worn on your index finger for the most accurate information. Although, it can be used on other fingers, but like I mentioned, I'm pretty minimal when it comes to jewelry, and my intention from the get-go was for this to be a replacement for my wedding band. Rather than having to wear something in addition to it, I just wanted to replace it altogether. Throughout this video, you'll notice that the ring is going to be worn throughout my ring finger, and that is why. So now, out of the box, you'll find the ring itself, charging station, and then a USB-C cord, which is going to connect to that little plate. The ring itself is made of titanium, so extremely lightweight, very durable for daily life, waterproof, can handle a lot up to this point. Minor scuffs here and there, but then they've kind of like gone away. Like I can't really see any of those scuffs. So really durable and just so lightweight. It doesn't feel like it's an addition, right? This is great. And the model that you're going to be seeing throughout is the Gen 3 Horizon in Stealth. On the underside of the titanium is a clear plastic that houses everything, including the heart rate sensor, SpO2 sensor for blood oxygen levels, temperature sensors, an accelerometer, and a Bluetooth antenna. So there's actually a lot packed into such a small package. Now, on the underside of my ring, right, it's the Horizon model, there's a dimple, and that dimple is basically your indicator to ensure that the sensors remain on the palm side of your hand. You're going to want to have that there to keep it on the underside, just to make sure that the metrics are as accurate as possible. Now, in addition to all that being packed into such a small package, there's also a battery with a surprising amount of life to it. I was fully expecting to have to charge this, every other day or so, but really, I'm only charging this once a week. So up to this point, really impressed with the battery life here. So that's the basic rundown of the hardware. Hopefully you've gotten a good idea about that. If you have any questions, please comment down below. But the real magic is going to be in the software, right? You're going to be spending a lot of time in the Oura app, and the main things that Oura is reporting on are three key metrics, right? That's going to be activity, readiness, and sleep. So on the dash, you'll pretty much get a summarized version of all those metrics, including your heart rate, right? So here in this heart rate screen, you've got a graphical view of it, as well as your rest time, sleeping heart rate range, and then daytime resting heart rate. But on the bottom, you can see a more detailed view of some of the others. Moving on to the activity tab, you can see all of your calories burned, steps, and a full breakdown of your daily movement. Since it doesn't have GPS though, it's not gonna be able to track your run distances. So this is actually gonna be able to tie into Apple Health and other apps to really get a complete view of your activity. Now, I'll be honest and say that what you're seeing for me is probably the least impressive block of activity that I've ever had pretty much in my life. You wanna see white bars at the top, which is gonna reflect higher intensity activity levels. Last few weeks, I've been met with increased work stress and a clear drop off of my fitness goals. And then to top it off, I got a vasectomy, which recently reduced me to just walking a good amount of time and just resting. So that's a whole nother video. It's going to come out later, but all of which you can clearly see is a very unimpressive set of analytics and activity scores, and it'll somewhat factor into my readiness score. Now, within the readiness tab, this is where I feel like a lot of people would get a lot of good use. It factors in multiple metrics, including heart rate, body temperature, and sleep to give you an overall picture of how much you can take on for the day and why. If you're feeling sluggish or sick, that will likely be reflected in your score. And as you can probably see from my stats, again, fairly unimpressive, as I've had more stress and restless nights of sleep than I'd like to admit. But the great thing about this is now I've got an actual quantitative way to track how I'm doing health-wise. I know I'm letting stress get to me, but how much is it actually getting to me? How much am I suffering from abandoning my daily fitness goals? Or how much am I setting myself back because I'm just trying to push through each day by over caffeinating, right? The numbers have actually set a baseline for me to work up from. And that really is the most important thing here. Understanding personal habits and seeing how you can improve upon them. Now, if you're serious about your overall wellness, the readiness tab is really where I think that you're going to get a lot of value from Oura. Then lastly, within the sleep tab, you can get a view of how much sleep you're getting, as well as a holistic picture of the quality of your sleep. And much like the readiness score, they're aggregating all the metrics below to give you a sleep score. Now, as you go through a lot of these metrics, you start to realize how much a lot of little things in your life actually matter. So for example, like eating too late. When you go to sleep, that actually affects how quickly your heart rate lowers as you go to sleep, and how it can actually impact the quality of your sleep. Taking too long to fall asleep or falling asleep too fast are all like factors into the quality of your overall rest and readiness for the next day. If you're falling asleep too quickly or slowly, Oura can actually inform you of that and help you understand that something might need to change, which you may not have otherwise considered. To round it out, in the Explore tab, they have a wide array of guided meditation as well as breathing exercises to help you regulate your heart rate and give you intentional moments of peace and decompression. Admittedly, I haven't really dabbled in that too much, but I will. I will. And then here you'll also find detailed versions of pretty much everything that I highlighted from Oura, except it's coming from themselves, right? Going in depth to explain certain scores that they are delivering on. So that's the basic rundown of Oura. Now, a majority of people watch these reviews trying to get a handle of whether or not this is for them. And at the top of this video, I mentioned that one important thing for me and who I think it's for, again, is definitely gonna suit people who don't really sport jewelry or other wearables like me. If you enjoy wrist wearables though, and that's something that is a part of your life, this is a great supplementary piece. Now, I love that this hasn't felt like a new addition for me, right? It's not in the way. The moment I slipped it on, it just felt like a wedding band, right? It's basically just a pro edition of my wedding band, if you want to think about it that way. It just reports on a ton of other health metrics. So there's no need for like haptics, vibrations, and it allows me to stay relatively like unplugged, right? I don't need like notifications constantly buzzing in my face, but it still keeps me plugged in, if that makes sense. And like I mentioned, it's not going to track your runs in certain activities, because at the end of the day, the main purpose of this is to optimize your daily life and overall wellness by giving you a holistic picture of how you operate and chime in on certain times when it notices that you might need to pay attention to things like sleep and activity. Now, I'd say the biggest downside here is probably going to be price. It's priced on a slightly higher end, and all of the information that you're getting in the app comes at the cost of a monthly subscription at $5.99. So that's just another thing to add on to what I'm sure you already have. You've got streaming subscriptions and music subscriptions. So this is just another thing to add on. So whether or not this is truly going to be of value to you, that's for you to decide. But now that you know how it operates, hopefully this video has been somewhat helpful for you. For me, moving forward, this is going to be a replacement for my wedding band, and I'm going to continue wearing it on a daily basis. Sponsored video or not, this is sponsored. I said it at the top of this video, but this is something that I genuinely like. I love this. It's been a great addition to my life and give me an overall picture of my wellness. And despite the fact that I am in a stage where it is quite stressful in my life right now, it doesn't discourage me. If anything, it's the opposite. It continues to encourage me and help me understand what I can be doing better amid just a fleet of work and just a heavy pile of stuff that I've been under. Now, if you have any further questions, let me know down in the comments. Once again, you can find the Oura Ring at Best Buy. If you don't mind, please consider using the link below if this is something that you're thinking about picking up for yourself, a friend, or a family member, or even getting them a sizing kit as a gift. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing for more dad tips and cool pickups for the family. God bless. We'll catch you later.